Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to Crew Talk, hosted by yours truly, JustJayBe, aka Goldhead, and Brandau. What's going on, Brandau? How you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. It's been a busy couple weeks in the wrestling world, so there's a lot to get into and not a lot of time. So I guess let's jump
Definitely.
right on into it.
Yup, let's get to it. WWE heavy show today. So we're gonna get straight to it. Raw Fallout. CM Punk takes on in a promo the Usos, stemming off what happened 2 weeks ago on Monday Night Raw, where CM Punk made a controversial comment about Roman Reigns' dead father, which ruffled the feathers of a lot of fans and a lot of people in the industry. Was it planned? Was it CM Punk just being CM Punk? Either way, he addressed it last night. It was addressed in the promo between the Usos and CM Punk. What did you think about it, Brando?
Well, let's go back a week to when Punk dropped the bomb on Roman. They had a heated exchange. Roman was talking a lot of trash back to him. They were going back and forth. I think Roman was getting the better of Punk, and I think he got under Punk's skin, and then that's when Punk just dropped that bomb that he was going to bury him next to his dead father, which I thought was, whoa, that made you
Woo!
sit up in your chair like, what is
Woo!
that? Like, really? You know,
Damn.
I know. And then fast forward to Monday night the following week, you had the Usos wanting to talk to Punk all night. That was a thread like, yeah, we got to talk to him. We got. And then the night comes, Punk's in the ring, cutting the promo. The Usos interrupt them and I'm demanding an apology. Like, apologize.
Yup.
And Jay came in hot, like crazy. Jimmy came
I
in
need you to apologize.
yeah, and then Jay came in hot like that, and then Jimmy came in more cool, calm, collected, just like very calm and just like you need to apologize. And then when Punk retorted and was like, "Yeah, I do apologize." At the end of the promo, he said, "I do apologize that you are still falling for Roman Reigns BS, basically."
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, in the promo itself, I get what Punk's saying. He's like, they didn't apologize for when they talked down about Dusty when Cody was feuding with Cody, or when Cody was feuding with Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, it's a two-way street. I guess he's trying to say, like, hey, why should I apologize for something that he hasn't apologized for? Who's a good friend of mine? So interesting way of putting it. It's just really fueling the fire. Next week, we'll see what happens between Punk and Roman when they come face to face. It's going to be very interesting. And then the attack on Punk at the end of the promo by the Usos
Yup.
was interesting too. So where are they going with this? Are they turning Punk heel? Are they turning the Bloodline heel? Are they just keeping it like a gray area where you don't know what's going to happen? It's just the hatred for Punk is boiling over with Roman, but is it really for Punk? But he just said that to prove a point. I liked what Punk said about the traveling on the road with Alpha and how he gave him like some gas money and made sure he had a meal every time and respected them. He just doesn't respect Roman. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Usos, quote unquote, see the light and see that Roman is just using them. If that's the
Yeah.
case.
Yeah. I thought it was really interesting. They definitely we connected right after the show, and you said that they towed the line in that promo. I felt that that's pretty much what happened. Uh, but also at the same time, it was very interesting how Punk, from a storyline perspective, just refused to apologize. And from the Usos side, their dead uh their dead family member has nothing to do with the animosity between Roman and Punk. So from their point of view, it's like, dude, like that has nothing to do with what's going on here. Apologize for that. And I saw no reason. I'm like, Punk, probably you should apologize for that, man. It has nothing to do with Roman Reigns. You're just kind of stooping to his low there. And there's the do you go high or do you go low? And CM Punk did address it and said he went the route that Roman Reigns would go. And I felt it would have been fine if he apologized, but they didn't. and he was trying to point out Roman Reigns' hypocrisy and how he treated his family, and that he had a close relationship with Roman Reigns' father, not his father, with the Wild Samoans, and he did his thing in Philadelphia and drove up to Allentown and all that. I thought that was a pretty cool bridge showing his love for the Samoan family, for the for the Bloodline family, and what they've meant to him in his career. But at the same time, I just thought it was kind of it's just a pretty bad low blow to just talk on the dead like that. And I thought, what was it? Forgive me here. Was it Jay or was it Jimmy? One of them said that Punk is a champion for the voice of the voiceless. Well, there's no voice because he's dead. So I was like, that's a really good bar right there. That's a really good line. And for Punk to really not apologize there was very interesting from a storyline perspective. So we'll see what happens. I don't think Punk's turning heel. I think it's going to be you heard people say, apologize, say you're sorry. That was chanted by, they were chanting for Punk to apologize in the crowd.
Sorry, I think is that what they're chanting?
Yeah.
Sorry or something.
They were saying, say you're sorry or something like that. Like, that's crazy. That's CM Punk, who's been wall to wall, one of the more not overrated, one of the more some people might say he's overrated, couldn't help that, but one of the more wall to wall over wrestlers of the past, 15 years, especially since 2011. It's a testament to the dominance of Roman Reigns. And as I've been saying over these past couple episodes, what he's meant to WWE in this decade so far. That Bloodline storyline really carried a lot for people, and you're hearing it against one of the most over wrestlers of all time. They're chanting for him to say you're sorry, Punk, in support of the Usos and Roman Reigns. So when that match happens at WrestleMania, it's going to be very interesting to see the crowd dynamic and
50-50.
to hear the crowd dynamic, rather. Yeah, it's definitely going to be 50-50. But I wonder if it's going to lean a little bit towards Reigns. So we'll see. I'll kind of be shocked by that, because Punk has been so over that with the smart crowds and with just casuals in general. He's just really beloved within the wrestling industry. Like it or not, he is. He's always just been over like that. So I was really surprised when the crowd wanted him to apologize. That just shows how the stance that's grown with the Bloodline storyline and what that meant to people, and how over Roman Reigns is as the OTC right now, even with his limited appearances. Very interesting to see, and I'm excited to see how that shakes out. The crowd dynamic could be very interesting at WrestleMania for that match.
So, were they saying apologize because they wanted to apologize for Roman, or were they saying that because they like the Usos so much and they're just like, they're being dragged into this and they have nothing to do with this. This is their unk.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of disgracing the family. But if Roman was in the ring, would they be chanting apologize?
That's a good question.
You should wonder. And also,
yeah,
why should Punk apologize? Let me play a devil's advocate. Why should Punk apologize?
Wait, what?
Hold on. He didn't say anything disrespectful about him. He just said he was going to pretty much murder Roman and put him next to his dad. I mean, he didn't say anything disrespectful.
I'm playing devil's advocate. His dead father, bro.
He didn't say anything about bad about his dead father. He just said, I'm going to put you next to him.
Well, don't mention him. Just say he's going to bury him. Doesn't have to mention his dad. That's the whole point. That's why it's like apologize. It has nothing to do with it. I appreciate the devil's advocate attempt there, but come on.
Yeah, all right. It's fine. We'll have to just see where this goes. Does Roman stoop down to his level and talk about? I mean, the dog's stupid. Like the dog, it's a dog. No one's gonna. It's gonna bother people. But what if he talks about Punk's dad?
Yeah,
who wasn't there for his whole life, and like Jericho brought it up when they're doing their whole feud.
Yeah, classic feud.
That whole feud. Yeah, so I don't know. Do they go down that route? Probably not. I don't know what the next steps are. It's going to be interesting. We'll see. When it comes to Punk, the other thing about Punk is this, and I think I said this to you in the chat. I'm going to say it here. This is going to be a pretty big pipe bomb, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I compare the diehard CM Punk fans to the big Trump supporters. No matter what he does or says, they don't care.
Uh-oh.
They will side with this man no matter what.
Uh-oh.
So he could pretty much say he'll piss on Roman Reigns and his father's grave. And I'm like, oh my God, we love CM Punk. Now that would be going way too far, obviously. But what I'm saying is the Punk fans that are diehards will do whatever and cheer for whatever thing that he says. They don't care. Just like people that are huge Trump supporters and say that. Not to be political, but it's a good comparison when it comes to fandom, I think.
Man. So that was a lot to take in right there, Brandau. We'll have to sit on that. I'm sure that's gonna have a lot of opinions in regards to what you just said. But there's no doubt that CM Punk has fans that are hardcore about him, and I think that's what you were trying to say. That
yeah, absolutely.
CM Punk, like the individual in office right now, they have a following of people that are very passionate about what they do, and CM Punk, has passionate fans, has passionate supporters, is what you're getting at. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, it was like a cult.
But I just want to make a little correction from earlier. I was obviously with CM Punk's relationship with Alpha, he was talking about in the promo. He would not Sika. He was talking about how he had a relationship with Alpha, yes. I believe, and that in that he respected Alpha and obviously Sika, but he was really talking about Alpha and how he came up with him and training with the Wild Samoans and all that. In terms of also what happened on Monday Night Raw last night, something happened in the beginning of Monday Night Raw that's also big news. Seth Rollins appeared back because he appeared at Elimination Chamber and came back and revealed himself to be the masked man and the ringleader of that, which was not a surprise. He returned talking with Adam Pearce, and he shows up with a bunch of other masked men. And I guess it's like this new look for Seth Rollins, this vengeful, hurt Seth Rollins because he was kicked out of his own stable, and he's out for blood, he's out for revenge, and he's got an army of masked men behind him and with him to cover him up and to do his bidding and to keep the ambiguity out there. Brandau, when this happened, we were talking about it. I think you had some things to say about this and your thoughts.
The whole millions of masked men jumping out of the crowd, it was so cheesy and stupid to me. I'm sorry. I hated it. I get why they did it to cause confusion, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. I mean, the whole time he was standing on the announce table, and I knew it was him. And when they all jumped out, I'm like, he's still standing on the announce table. It's clearly him. There's a reason why he's higher than the rest of the people. It's obvious it's him. And I don't think they're trying to fool anybody with that, but just something about it I'm over the whole masked man thing in general. Just stop. It's going nowhere. Hopefully they end it once they have an opponent for him at Mania, if that's where they're going with it. I mean, I know Adam Pearce is like, oh, you're not cleared. He's gonna wrestle. I just don't know who. We can get to that in a second. But when he was out there, and then Logan and them interfered, and they came out, tried to run him off, and it didn't work. And then the Usos came out, and then so this whole thing has been thrown into a tailspin with all these injuries. So we have no idea where they're going. Apparently it's going to be Seth versus Logan. And I don't think that's the route they're going. I really don't. I think we're getting the Usos versus Logan and Theory for the titles. I don't see any other path that the Usos are taking it's going to be interesting besides getting involved in the Punk Roman storyline. But there's not going to be a match there. So where do they go from there? That's the one that makes sense. But this also questions, who is Seth fighting then? Well, there is one guy that might want to fight him, and that is
Brock
Lesnar. He lost his advocate. He's going to be pissed. Seth took out his advocate, damn it, and he wants revenge. So I could see something where he's in the ring talking about open challenge, and all of a sudden Oba family may come out, and then Brock's like, no, open challenge is canceled. I want Seth. I myself am not salivating over a Seth versus Brock match again, but this may be the route they have to go. It makes sense storyline wise. unless they bring a new member in from the Vision and have Seth challenge them, who that could be, and anybody that's really a needle mover to make the match interesting, not sure. And in the long shot to me is if Braun Breaker's ready to come back. Obviously, you do Braun Breaker versus Seth. Duh. Easy match. So there's a lot of things we got to find out in the next couple of weeks before we know what the hell the card's going to be. Yeah, besides that, Seth, he looked good. He looked like he was fine. Doesn't look like, he's going to be prolonged for injury. So he needs to just have something of substance to do at Mania. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So I think that I would like Seth to take on Braun, but who knows if Braun's even going to come back. So that remains to be seen. I want to park on Seth versus Brock. I feel like that happened so much. That was the big thing when they were trying to have Seth Rollins be the guy back in, I think, like 2019-ish, I think. And they were good matches because Seth is a great in-ring performer, can have a good match against anybody. And I know this is probably kind of newer with a new sheen on it because it's Seth Rollins who aligned himself with Paul Heyman. Then he got betrayed by Paul Heyman and he came back for revenge on Paul Heyman in the Vision. And Brock still supports his main guy. And that puts a whole new spin on it. But I don't know. I feel like I've seen it before. But as you said, Brandau, like, everyone's injured, so there's only so many matches that can, so many things that can take place, and storylines that can take place, and matches that can take place. So if it happens, it's a new spin, and then Seth will bump like crazy for Brock Lesnar, and it'll be something with a kind of a twist on an old feud. We'll see what happens with that, for sure.
Yeah.
Moving along, Judgment Day finally turns on Finn Balor. This has been brewing for weeks, and it finally happened. I thought it was a long time coming. I have actually wanted Balor to have another shot with a title. I know he's probably not going to win it, but it's just so interesting that, like, back in 2016, he got a rocket strapped to him, and I thought he was just going to be monstrous. And he had that injury in that match against Seth, and he had to, relinquish the title the next night. And ever since that moment, he hasn't been quite where he was. He's obviously been a main player on the roster, but even in one of his more recent title matches from the past, I think from last year, there was a promo talking about how ever since that time, he hasn't been quite where he envisioned himself to be. So I like the fact that he's getting back here and there in the title scene and into some larger programs. And I like that he's seemingly turning face again. And Balor versus Dom should be a hell of a match, or a hell of a feud. And Balor versus Judgment Day in general. But Brandau, you mentioned something about Balor. Since he's turning face again, could this mean a certain return?
Could be. I thought the heel
at
turn
WrestleMania.
I thought the heel turn, or the turn on Balor was kind of telegraphed last week when Dom lost the title and Balor kind of was like, "No, you got to do it yourself." He knew he was turning, and that was going to piss the Judgment Day off. So when he got in the ring, and then he said, "Oh, you're going to need to do it yourself again, and then try to teach you a lesson for 2 years." The thing that was interesting was that Jade is the one who actually attacked him after he hit him. So
JD made his decision for sure.
Yeah, and I was not surprised by it, but it made sense in a way. So Dom lost the Intercontinental title. So if they have this match at Mania, it's just going to be a grudge match. There's going to be nothing on the line, I don't think, unless somehow Dom gets the belt back. But I don't know what that doesn't help Penta at all.
Right.
That's the thing. These mid-card titles, you don't know what they're kind of in flux. You don't know what the plan is for them. But I'll tell you what, this could be the return of the Demon without a doubt. I think they were waiting for Finn Balor to be a face again for the Demon. Everyone's going to cheer the Demon. It doesn't matter.
It's going to be a big pop. Yup. It's gonna be a big
Yeah.
pop when he
Now,
comes out with
will
it
they
if he
do
does
it
it.
at
If he
Mania?
does
They might. I know Balor said in the past he doesn't ever want to do it again, but that
the
could easily
makeup,
be. And well, the reason was because Vince wanted it to be like when a demon comes out, he's invincible. I was like, nah, dude, it's not like that. It's like the demon comes out because it's just war paint. I'm ready to go. That's what that's supposed to
right,
be.
right.
It was never intended to make him like supernatural, which of course
Mm-hmm.
Vince wanted to go down that route.
That good shit.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it'd be cool. The earliest start time in Vegas, though, I don't know. I guess it's not going to matter because it's in a dome. It's the whatever that is. I forget what the name of the stadium is
It's basically a
in
dome,
Vegas.
Allegiant Stadium. It's basically a dome.
Allegiant, yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah.
don't think that's going to matter. I can't remember if there's how the lighting is in there, and
There's
I
some
didn't think
lighting, but it's a dome. It's like, and it barely, if ever, it never rains in Vegas anyway. And it's gonna, but I guess I know what you mean. Like they can dim the lights, but you're right. Is it like can they do it in the light with it starting at 3 p.m.
it just
over
doesn't
there?
have the same effect. I remember when he came out as a demon. We were at the last time he came out as a demon was when we went right and in California. He fought who did he
Oh,
fight?
at
It was a ladder
WrestleMania
match.
39. WrestleMania 39.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did they fight? I can't.
Well,
I'm blanking for a second. It was a good match.
well,
It was
I
Edge.
mean,
It was Edge. It was
yeah,
Edge.
it was Edge.
It was Edge. Hell of a match, but it just didn't have the same effect. It was like light out. There's daytime. It was weird because SoFi has this weird like clear roofs where the sun's coming through, so it took away a lot from the entrance. Like I never understood why they would ever do an entrance like that with light. That's like the Undertaker coming out during the day. It's like it doesn't have the same effect. Where does JD go from there too? Does this branch off to a JD versus Balor feud? Because I know
It
Finn
could.
likes him, but and wants to put him over at some point. JD needs something, and beat Finn Balor would be a huge for his career. JD is awesome in the ring. I
Mm-hmm.
used to watch him in NXT UK, and when he came over to NXT, I was excited, and then he came over, and he was kind of a jobber for a little bit, but he would always put on good matches. And I think he's just starting to get his shine now. I think people are still starting to really respect what he can do in the ring. So
Yeah.
I hope
And it's
this whole storyline elevates both of them.
Yeah, and it's been good since he's came. It's been good to see him back since that injury too.
Oh
So
yeah, that's a
shout out
nasty
to
injury.
JD, still doing the damn thing and killing it out there. Uh, after that, I mean, with that said, next up we got AJ Lee versus Bailey because Bailey won last night. Uh, and it's going to be for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And Bailey on Instagram shouted out AJ Lee saying that, here we go again. You can't get rid of me. I think it should be a pretty good match. I'm a fan of Bailey. I think AJ Lee has been good since she's returned in spots. She hasn't wrestled that much, but after a pretty long layoff, I think she's been good character wise and solid in the ring. It should be a fun matchup. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think next week, I think they have a bigger plan for this for AJ Lee. I think something's going to happen next week where because it's next week, I believe, right? That's a big Raw next week, by the way.
I think
It's
so.
316 day,
Yeah.
if anyone didn't know.
Uh-oh.
It's just a packed Raw. I mean, you got Brock, you got Roman, Punk. They're throwing everything and everything, buddy, at that Raw. But that's a
Mm-hmm.
big match in itself, AJ versus Bailey. But I
That
think
should
something's
probably
going to
main event
happen
Raw.
where it's going to muddy. I don't think so. That's not main event
You don't think?
Raw. No way.
Okay. All right.
No way.
Just saying.
AJ versus Bailey is not main event in Raw. Great match, but there's too much star power on there for that to be the last thing you see on Raw. Come on.
Okay, it'll
Let's
be
be
one of the last matches on the night.
I can see them opening the show with this match.
Okay, we'll see.
Or in the
It'll
middle. I
it'll
think
be
they're going to put it in the middle.
middle of the night. It's a marquee matchup
It's
for a big
because
Monday Night Raw.
I think you're going to get like a dusty finish where you're not going to sure what happened, and there's going to be more factors in this with the other women. There's a lot of women involved in this. I think something's going to happen involve Lyra somehow. Also, the Kabuki Warriors, and just want to touch upon that real quick.
Yeah.
You know, Asuka constantly yelling at Kyrie for cost her matches and in the backstage treating her like crap. That's going to come to a head. And when it does, and Kyrie finally has enough, that she's going to get a huge pop when she turns on Asuka. And I would not be surprised if they make that a Mania match. Just keep your eye
That'd
out.
be cool.
Kyrie and
They
Asuka
would kill it.
will be a really good Mania match. Yeah, it'd be a
They would kill
storyline's
it.
been building for like damn near a year. They've been building up
Yeah.
forever. The match that Bayley won, I actually thought Raquel was going to win.
Mhm.
And when Liv came out and then Stephanie squashed her out, got her out of the way, and then it was Io that pinned. It was Io that pinned Raquel.
Yes.
And then Raquel took her frustrations out on her, and then that's how Ivy Nile won. And once it was Ivy and Bayley, I was like, yeah, we know who's winning this. Bayley's winning. And then who was the final? It was Bayley versus Asuka. That was a great match. They had a nice like 10, 12-minute exchange. A lot of confusion with Kyrie and then Lyra saving her against Kyrie. So yeah, I guess, AJ versus Bayley's gonna be good. I just want to see where the rest of the women fit in this. I really want to see Raquel get some kind of title opportunity. I think she deserves it. She's been awesome. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. I think something screwy is going to happen. I don't think Bayley walks out as champion. I still think that AJ Lee retains. No. Or actually, I take that back. Becky Lynch could. Something's going to happen. So maybe something happens and she loses the title and Bayley wins. I don't know. But something screwy is going to happen during that match. There's going to be might be some overbooking going on there. That's kind of entertaining. So for sure. This next topic, I'm very excited to talk about because it just kind of came out the blue. Obafemi has been squashing the utter hell out of the roster as he's ever since he came on the main roster. I was just saying earlier this evening that Obafemi's damn theme song has just been in my freaking head, and he has the most entertaining entrance in wrestling right now, arguably, at least in the major promotions, and he's just been a monster rolling over everybody, and he took on Rusev last night. In the beginning, it was a good brute versus brute match, heavy hits and all that. Obafemi actually took some punishment, but then he just kind of trailed off and beat the utter hell out of Rusev, and Rusev lost. And we kind of connected about it, Brandau, and you just had this question. You're just like, and it's a good question. Why did Rusev even come back? Because all he's been doing is losing ever since he returned to WWE. Obviously, he shouldn't have beaten Oba. That's not the.
No, we knew
we're not going to argue that. Of course, he's going to lose to Oba, but he hasn't really. I mean, he had bangers. He had some bangers against Sheamus, but really, what has he done? I like Rusev, but it's interesting let's park on that. What do you think about that?
I just think it's one of the things where WWE signs a guy because he wanted to come back. They got him, and they're like, "Oh, we can utilize you," and then like they have nothing for him, so they're like, "Oh, we're just gonna sit you back here," and then once we come up with something, eventually you'll do it. And then they had this little thing with Oba for a couple weeks to build up to it, just to have him get absolutely manhandled. But they're building Oba up. It makes sense. But where does Rusev go from here? What is Rusev going to do? Is he going to go back to Rusev Day? That was over. Do they bring? Honestly, I would bring Lana back and just do the whole Lana Rusev thing again, where he's the Bulgarian brute. Honestly,
yeah,
that worked. And I'll tell you where that went wrong for Rusev when he lost to Cena at WrestleMania. He should have beat Cena at that WrestleMania. I think his.
I thought the same thing, but can't say anything bad about John Cena these days. Can't have any constructive criticism about John Cena at all. Can't do that. So I'm not going to say anything.
So anyway, yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, Rusev is there to make a lot of guys probably look better now. Here's a question: where the hell is Royce Keys?
Hey, I watched this podcast appearance on Stephanie's show. It was great. It was so good. And it was awesome that we met him. We met him at WrestleMania weekend last year. He was a joy to talk with, and he talked about his struggle and how he's come up and left that behind him and overcome. And it's a good question. How come? Yeah, what are they doing with him? He has a great story, and he's a powerhouse. I mean, that used to be his name. But like seriously, he really is a powerhouse. He really is. He's really dynamic in that way in the ring, and they haven't done a goddamn thing with him at all. And it makes you wonder like what's going on here. That's another talent on the roster that could he can at least be early on the card or something.
Yeah.
They've done nothing with him outside of his debut.
This seems to be a problem with WWE in general. They'll sign guys, and then they'll use them. They're like, oh, here he is, and then you won't see him for like 6 months. Like, what happened to him? Where'd he go? What's going on with this guy? Here's my thoughts on both Rusev, Oba, and Royce. Oba's obviously up going to bigger and better things. 2 paths I see for Oba. Oba versus Brock, obviously, Mania. People want it. But if it's not that, then he's in the Battle Royal. I know everyone hates it, but maybe
he wins that. Yeah, he wins that easily.
So if it's Oba versus Brock, then what do? Maybe Bruce Keys wins the Battle Royal. That gets him some shine. Then he won the Andre Battle Royal.
That'd be cool. I'd be down with that.
Have a throw Rusev out at the end. There you go. Rusev's putting another person over, so they could do a lot of things. So besides that, I mean, I think next week's Raw is going to be very telling on a lot of things on where things are going. You're going to get Brock.
Agreed.
You're going to get. You may get a certain bald-headed SOB.
Who knows? Maybe
cause some trouble.
Yeah, maybe that guy returns. It is his holiday after all. So
I'm expecting it. I'll be shocked if he's not there. I mean, if they're really going to pump up.
You think the glass breaks next Monday? You think the glass breaks next Monday?
It might even start off Raw. Just to start off Raw, I'm there and drinking beers.
Oh man, that pop's gonna be crazy.
If Brock's in that fucking ring and you hear that glass shatter, people will forever live in fucking mind. And
man,
if they somehow have him answer the challenge to fight Brock Lesnar at Mania.
Oh, that'd be crazy, dude. No way.
That's what happens. Mania sells out. Mania sells out completely.
That's a rabbit out the hat. Well, of course, you have Stone Cold Steve Austin, arguably the greatest wrestler of all time. The biggest megastar of all time, arguably. You could come on if he's back again and takes on Lesnar, that sells itself. But I just don't think that's going to happen. I think Lesnar's.
That's the match we never damn well got.
That's the match we never got. That's the match we never got. That Austin walked out over. They could have a story about that. I just don't. I think this is one of those cases where it's fun fantasy booking. It's not happening.
You could do the same thing. You could do a street fight. It could happen if you make it a street fight, and as long as Brock doesn't try to suplex him and take him to Suplex City. But that's
as long as Brock doesn't do his entire moveset and just does weapons and okay, sure.
That's where it gets tricky. You know what I mean? So I doubt it's going to happen, but
you're right though, Brandau. I will say you're right. That would increase ticket sales tenfold. WWE has treated Stone Cold's legacy so well over the past 20 years since he first retired in 2003. So his legacy's been great. He's still a top seller. Stone Cold Steve Austin, man. I mean, if you look way behind me, am I doing this? Yeah. If you look way behind me, you see The Rock and Austin at WrestleMania X7. I'm a noted Rock guy, but I grew up watching Stone Cold Steve Austin raise hell, and I've actually come to his defense a lot lately when I hear that a certain guy who just retired saved the WWE. And I'm like, I don't know about that, because I know I saw another guy save the WWE, arguably, when it was actually in trouble. And, always had mad respect to Stone Cold Steve Austin and his rise and what he did for pro wrestling, for sure. That would be crazy, Brandau. That'd be nuts. I'm not even an Austin guy like that compared to other people I've liked, but you got to show respect to one of the greats. And that'd be, it was awesome seeing him at WrestleMania in Texas almost 4 years ago. That was surreal too. When a legend like that appears, that would sell itself. There's 2 matches we did never see that. And remember when they wanted to tease Rock versus Brock? They did when The Rock got injured, and he just didn't. It just never happened. Remember when they went backstage, Lesnar and Heyman, they looked at the Rock's Royal Rumble, and Lesnar kind of looked at it and laughed. That was a long time ago, but. I would love to see, since that's never going to happen, obviously, Stone Cold versus Brock Lesnar in this fantasy booking scenario we're talking right now would be pretty cool. And it would be a stroke of genius to sell tickets and Brock is a part-timer anyway, and it wouldn't really piss off anybody because now you have Brock Lesnar in a dream match against, top 3 biggest megastar of all time, arguably number 1. So it's, it kind of writes itself if they really do it, if they really go with it. So who knows what happens on 316 day next Monday night.
And I'll tell you, I'll just close it with this. He may not wrestle, but I can see him being a special ref versus Brock versus whoever. And at the end,
someone's getting stunned.
Someone's getting his comeuppance against Brock. Because I don't think has he ever stunned Brock? I have no idea if he has or not. But I don't
think so. He has been F5'd by Brock. That happened in 2004, I believe, or 2003. I want to say 2004, because obviously Stone Cold was in the middle of Goldberg and Lesnar when that was getting hyped up. However, before we end Raw, we got to talk about, we're a little delayed on this, but we got to talk about Danhausen. Danhausen debuted at Elimination Chamber, and it was a mixed reaction. I think that it was, we had Brandau. We talked about this a little bit on Instagram. It's funny, your scenario actually would have been pretty cool, where they showed, if Jericho was around, it obviously didn't happen, but where obviously Jericho wouldn't come out of the box. That's stupid. But, his attire was there and his list was there and old artifacts were there, and then he makes an entrance. That would have been, I feel like the crowd was probably expecting something more along the lines of that. But instead, we have Danhausen with a very quirky, fun entrance that got completely shitted on by the Chicago crowd. But then after that backlash, he appears and he's hilarious, and that's just a part of his gimmick. It's a very unique kind of humor, very like spooky and macabre and everything like that. And what do you think?
Yeah, I got to eat some crow here because I was shitting all over it. And I think the reason why I was shitting on it, because it just didn't seem like something you would make such a big deal out of a pay-per-view. I feel like that the reveal was at like the next night on Raw. Yeah, I think people would have been more receptive to it originally.
Of course.
But after looking back at it, we had to realize we should have never expected anything big to come out of this. It was all the second tier players that were looking at the box. There was no big superstars around the box wondering what was going on with the box. It was all like Gargano sleeping on it, at Fraxium, and R-Truth making fun of the whole situation.
Yeah.
Should have known right then and there. It was going to be something wacky.
Yeah.
But besides that, so people initially cheered it, then booed it because they were disappointed. But the next night on Raw, was it Raw? Yeah, Raw. He redeemed himself. He cursed Dom. Dom loses the belt.
It was hilarious. Yeah.
And then he shows up on SmackDown. We'll get to that. But then he's about to curse him at The Miz because he's looking for a mentor. So he didn't curse him yet, because I think that's going to be a storyline now, that The Miz is going to be forced to be his mentor and not like it because he's afraid of it getting cursed. And it's going to be funny as hell. It's going to be very entertaining.
Yeah.
And then last night on Raw, he cursed El Grande. And what happened to him? He got jumped by the other El Grande. Yep. And the other El Grande took his title shot and lost and screwed him. So it's working. It's funny because when he comes on the screen now, I start to pop. I'm like, damn, he got me. He's entertaining as hell.
Well, that's good. I guess Danhausen humbled Brandau. That's crazy. I think I was just kind of wait and see about it. Let's just see what happens. I think based on what I've taken in about his gimmick and what I've seen with him and what he does, I think if done right, which is what they're already kind of doing, he's playing off his niche. I think in the way they've been using him, it's perfect. And if he's continued to use, it's kind of like a comedy act in the right spots, kind of like R-Truth has been used over the years, or Tozawa has been used. I think that could definitely pay dividends there. So definitely excited to see more. Happy that he's actually seemingly gotten out of the backlash. With that said, speaking of backlash, let's go to one of the biggest stories of the week. A certain blonde-haired American Nightmare won the WWE Championship on SmackDown from Drew McIntyre, and it is now going to be the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, versus his mentor, Randy Orton, at WrestleMania. And Rhodes winning the championship elicited a huge wave of backlash from our dear internet wrestling community, the IWC. And I'm going to take some time to go on a little bit of a rant right now and tell a story.
Where's yours?
2 years ago, The Rock came out, and to a monster pop, I would like people to go to YouTube and search in February. I'm sorry, excuse me, not February, obviously. I mean, January, when The Rock came out, January 2024, and he asked in San Diego if everyone was fine with The Rock being the head of the table, to a monster pop. A week later, I believe, Cody Rhodes is booked to win to Royal Rumble. And Cody Rhodes then points at Roman Reigns, and, you know, everyone's hyped for that. And then after that, it's like, oh, Cody Rhodes or Seth Rollins, or is he going to choose to face Roman Reigns? And then Cody Rhodes goes to tell Roman Reigns that he's going to step back, and then The Rock comes out, and you're supposed to have The Rock versus Roman Reigns finally. And Cody Rhodes bows out, and all is well. The stupid thing that happened was Cody Rhodes, with all that finishing the story built up, looks like basically kind of looks like a word I don't really feel like saying right now, but you know, y'all, whatever word y'all think that I want to say, that's the word. That's what he kind of looked like as he submitted his spot for The Rock, and that turned everybody against The Rock, and a lot of narratives got pointed out for that. But I'm saying that because the IWC, you guys, and we are a part of the IWC, obviously, but I believe in holding community accountable. I believe in holding people accountable. The IWC begged and wanted Cody Rhodes to be the guy. We want Cody. We want Cody. Finish the story. Cody Rhodes, we love you. Oh my gosh, he's got to finish the story. And it led to a pivot and an amazing road to WrestleMania, and arguably one of the greatest WrestleMania moments of all time, by far, especially of this decade. Maybe in the past 10 years. It was iconic. We even had discussions saying that Roman versus Cody at WrestleMania 40 is probably going to rise up the ranks in the coming years as, you know, the best WrestleMania main event, or in the discussion for the best WrestleMania main event. That it was an iconic moment. And Cody rides off into the sunset. He becomes the face of the company. He holds the championship for a year, obviously loses it to Cena last year in a controversial match. But for all intents and purposes, Cody Rhodes has been the face of the company, or co-face of the company, since that finished the storyline. Now, everybody has turned on this guy that has, you know, had the support from the IWC. Now, y'all completely hate Cody Rhodes, and he's getting downvoted like crazy, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sick of Cody. Isn't this what y'all wanted? I just am a little confused as to why, after all that support for Cody and all that, now, and also, everyone's always been wanting Cody versus Orton. It's been one of the storylines that everyone's been begging for, because it's one of the last big storylines matches that they have with the full-time, for the most part, performers in Cody and Orton, with the history they have. So that finally happens, and y'all can do nothing but bitch about it. So I'm left being like, okay, come on, people. Come on. I understand in calling things out. There have been spots where the IWC has paid dividends to making an impact on the card. One of my favorite moments with that was Daniel Bryan in 2013 and 2014 with the pivot with Batista. Obviously, that made sense with Daniel Bryan, and the correct decision was made. And in many ways, with what I just talked about with Cody Rhodes and The Rock, Roman, and Seth Rollins, and what happened there 2 years ago. But now it just seems like, I don't know. I'm not really buying it. I'm not really down with it. I think that I think Cody's done a great job as the face of the company. I think he's a white meat baby face, and he's done a good job. And this is what the IWC clamored for. Finish the story, and he became the guy. But now, you know, now I guess not. Now everything sucks. Everything sucks with Cody Rhodes. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. All right, my rant's
Okay.
over. Go for it,
Wow,
Brando.
that was a rant. Uh, I agree, but I don't agree with everything. I think
Oh, I'm sure.
the IWC is very, what's that word Daniel Bryan used? Oh,
Fickle. Fickle.
yes, fickle. So I think we all knew Cody was going to win this match when it was happening. All these people that thought Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes or Drew McIntyre and Orton was a WrestleMania main event headliner is smoking crack. Sorry. I'm sorry. It just doesn't have that oomph. It just doesn't. It's not, there's no story. They
No
fought
disrespect,
plenty of
Drew.
times
We love
before.
you.
Yeah, exactly. I think people don't realize, like, oh, but what about Drew? What about Drew? Drew got his moment. He beat Cody Rhodes on Saturday's main event, right? Was it SmackDown? I can't remember. It was one of them. And
SmackDown.
won the title. And he won the title. And I think that was the whole plan. And then it was time to give Cody back the belt, and just so for Orton to win the Elimination Chamber and have Orton versus Cody. It's the story that needs to be told, and it needs to happen now, sooner rather than later. Let's not make this like boxing where you wait for Pacquiao Mayweather to happen and the careers are washed. It's like, what's the point?
Right.
So Orton versus Cody can tell you so many stories. You look back, a lot of people don't remember that they were in Legacy together, and they can tell a lot of stories about how Orton disrespected Dusty a couple times and Cody, especially. I don't know if you remember when he slapped the shit out of Dusty Rhodes.
Yep.
Back in the day when he was in Legacy. So there's a lot of stories to tell, and it could headline night 1 or night 2. We don't know. It depends on how much they make this cook. I feel bad for Drew, but I don't, because they already have a storyline with Drew. Drew and Jacob is the story to tell there. They haven't really had any matches, and this is where it comes into like, okay, for Drew, it's like boo-hoo, he's not making main event, and he was never going to main event. I'm sorry, he just wasn't. I love Drew. Drew's awesome. Don't get me wrong, but he doesn't need the main event. He was never going to main event with that much. It just wasn't happening.
Right.
People are talking about fatal 4-way. I don't.
You don't think do they pivot with the backlash, with the IWC backlash? Does the Triple H pivot again and make it a fatal 4-way?
They got the posters and everything. They're selling the posters and everything. They're going all in on this one. No, they're definitely not pivoting it anywhere. They're sticking with Cody versus Orton, and they may tease some distrust between them. We'll have to see how it goes. They could turn them heel, one of them heel Mania night. I don't know, or it could just be a match with just a great storytelling because they have such a history, a shared history.
Yeah. Rich history.
With Drew and Fatu is going to be an awesome match. I mean, that you get 2 matches out of it now. You could build.
That could arguably steal the show. That could probably steal the show if they do it right.
And
yeah,
I think there's got to be a stipulation to that, like maybe like a false count anywhere, since if he supposedly was the one who attacked them in the back. That's another thing we don't know. Is that what happened?
2 out of 3 falls. Something.
Is Drew the one who took him out, took Fatu and Jey Uso out, or is it somebody else? And we just
or somebody else. I know.
So there's a lot of things to be told about that.
Well, let's spark on something, Brandau. Oh, okay, go for it.
Cody's character has been questioned a little bit in the past from one Sami Zayn. People are thinking Sami is the one that's going to turn. It's possible, but Sami's got a lot of good points, though. Cody did take advantage of a lot of situations that quote unquote babyface wouldn't do, and this all stems back all the way to back in the day when he beat Kevin Owens with the chair. The chair was just in the ring. I DDT'd him on it and pinned him. Yeah, but that's not what a babyface does. That's kind of cheating.
Right.
Same thing. Sami does the right thing, saves him from Drew. What happens? He takes advantage of it and it takes the win and it takes it from him. So Sami's just distraught right now. I don't know where that's going to go. Where does Sami go from here? But I think this just questions more of Cody than anything. And what the type of person he is. Is he putting on a front for everybody? Just this whole like, I'm the good guy, I'm great, blah blah blah. But deep down inside, it's eating him. It fuels him to be the champion and to be the face of the company. He'll do anything, even though it's one of them things where he hasn't had to do that yet until we have to see it. And that's where they could do the turn.
Well, it goes into, it's funny you mentioned that, because should Cody versus Orton main event WrestleMania over Roman versus Punk? Because, and I'm not talking, obviously night one, I'm talking about night two. Night two is the main main event. Let's just be honest here. Yes, night one technically is the main event of night one, but we all know the main match is night two. So that's what I think a lot of people, assuming that it stays that way, which match is over which, you can make an argument for either one. Cody has main evented the last 3 WrestleManias in a row. I don't think people realize that. He's actually, if you count night one of WrestleMania 40, he's main evented 4. He's had 4 main events in 3 years. But honestly, I can't see Orton versus Cody main eventing over Punk versus Roman, especially with the heat that is being generated right now with Punk versus Roman. But Brandau, you did mention something that I want everyone to pay attention to. If Cody versus Orton main events night 2, something's happening. Book it.
Yeah,
no question. Something,
out.
I don't know what it's going to be, but something clearly big is happening. I don't know if we don't know if a certain guy who I mentioned earlier is going to show up. He could probably show up at both of them, but he doesn't appear much these days, so I'm going to assume that he's out. I think that's the right way to go about it. Or does Cody Rhodes snap and do something that we never would think that he would do? Who knows? But if that match main event's night 2, shit's going down, no question about it. But with that said, it's probably going to be Punk versus Roman, so we'll see what happens in regards to
most
that.
likely. Just to touch on, put the finishing touches on Cody versus Orton and where Sami Zayn goes from all this, and McIntyre, Fatu. This whole thing's been woven together pretty seamlessly the past month with all these.
He's an X factor. Involved. Yeah,
absolutely. And maybe Sami turns on Cody and costs him the title. I mean, I don't know if that's how you want to end the Mania that way, like a main event. It would have to be.
Sammy's a beloved babyface,
but
if they do it right, Sammy's a.
So here's how I see it, Colin. I see it going like this. Now, I might be completely wrong here, but I can see Sami being right the whole time about Cody, questioning him, and it turns out Cody is that guy that you can't really trust and takes advantage of the situation and is a heel at heart. What this means for Sami is there's this other person that's been in Randy's ear, had a feud with Randy recently. Kind of as you've seen him a couple times appear in front of Sami Zayn, and that's Aleister Black. So I could see them going with a Sami Zayn versus Aleister Black match at Mania, or the SmackDown before Mania, or something. And Sami does not change. Here's the thing that really bothers me about this whole thing too. I feel like Aleister Black is playing the role of Karrion Kross. If this was Kross in this situation, how much better would the storyline have been with him being like, "Haha, I told you, Sami. I told you."
Yeah,
it would have been so good. It would have been so good to see if he turns.
Yeah.
But it's not. So Aleister Black's like the new Karrion Kross, basically. It seems like, where he tries to tempt people, and that's fine. Aleister Black's great. So we'll see what happens. But it does become Aleister Black, Sami Zayn, and Sami sticks to his guns. And I would expect a character change in Cody. And maybe this builds Sami all the way up until next year's Mania, where Sami finally wins the big one.
Maybe. That'd be pretty crazy. And yeah, it should be a lot of different storylines sprouting off of each other and kind of interweaving with each other going on with Sami, Aleister Black, Cody, Orton, and all that comes with that. I'm excited for Cody versus Orton, and IWC, stop bitching about it. That's just all I got to say.
I have 2 words for you.
That's my opinion, at least. That's our opinion. We want the smoke. Feel free to comment and reach out to us about that if you disagree. I'm sure a lot of you all will. It's cool. We'll talk about it. speaking of talking about it, Trick Williams will be really short with this. He has been blowing up all across the media. Everyone's been talking about Trick Williams. He's appeared on The Breakfast Club. He's appeared on so many podcasts, and he's appeared on ESPN. WWE, you have your next megastar in Trick Williams, clearly. Triple H, don't mess it up, as I said before. It's pretty clear. Trick Williams is like, to me, gimmick-wise, he's like The Rock and Booker T had a baby, and it's Trick Williams in terms of gimmick. You can see it. You can see the momentum he's gathering, and his charisma is off the charts. And if you don't mess it up, if you let it play out and have it be organic and book him right, put him in good position, there's your next main eventer easily. Just don't mess it up.
I just want to say it was quite apparent to SmackDown before Elimination Chamber when they all came out and LA Knight tried to run those line. He interrupted them, and the crowd lost their ever-living mind and it was cheering for Trick. That right there touched everything you need to know. He completely stole LA Knight's thunder and pretty much just probably relegated LA Knight to mid-card for the rest of his career.
Damn, wait, what? Damn. Really?
I mean,
you think that was it?
I think LA Knight's done. I don't think any LA Knight is going to even sniff the title anytime soon. I really just don't.
Wow.
I don't.
He's still over, man. LA Knight's still over.
He's
over. Oh my gosh.
And not the championship material. I'm sorry, just not. And I'm not going to blame the Elimination Chamber stuff. Everyone was shitting on LA Knight at the Elimination Chamber for slipping off the rope. Finn Balor did too. Apparently that rope was very greasy, and a couple people fell off that rope. So there was something going on with that rope. So LA Knight did a great job of recovering it, and it's just coming down and stopping it and not missing a beat. So props to LA Knight for being a professional there. So I guess we got to get into one other thing.
Damn. Wait, sorry. Damn, that's it for LA Knight. It's over. Damn. I all right. All right, we'll have to talk about that another. That's a whole other topic.
Yes, for the main event scene, yes, he's going to be great in the mid card scene. Maybe he gets a mid card title. I just don't ever see him winning a world championship. I just don't see it. I don't think it's in the cards for him. I just don't. I mean,
but with that said, okay, Brandau. With that said, yes, that was a moment, and I know we talked about it in real time when the crowd was definitely on Trick, like with Trick Williams in his exchange with LA Knight. I was like, that's a moment. This guy's rising up fast right now. So as I said before, there's your, everyone, I see people complaining about, the age of the main eventers and all that stuff, and how Orton's 40, Orton's 45, Cody Rhodes is 40, Roman Reigns is 40. What else? CM Punk is 47, about to be 48, I believe. You got Obafemi rising up, you got Javon Evans rising up, and you got your next bona fide main eventer, potential megastar, true megastar, and true top tier star, Teflon, and Trick Williams. So we'll see. I hope in the coming years that we see these rising stars begin to main event WrestleMania after WrestleMania. Oh, also, Brandau, your guy, of course, Braun Breaker too, but he's injured. But we'll see. They were prepping him too. So we have a full crop of people coming up. So kudos to Triple H in terms of that, and Shawn Michaels for being able to have that replenishment of superstars on the roster. Shout out to the women's roster too, which Brandau, you said, and on the NXT side, which we'll get into a little bit with NXT in general, has off the charts talent with women as well. So speaking of women and SmackDown, another big thing that happened over the past week or so, Rhea versus Jade, and the drama that went on with that. Oh my Lord, it has been a crazy, crazy week or so in the industry. Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley apparently having mad beef online. Some people think it's fake. Some people think it's real. Exchanges were said on social media. We put up a post pointing things out about, remember when Rhea Ripley didn't get a title shot and she just kind of complained about it and then got her wishes and got into a title match that she had no business being in. And then Brandau, you said what you've had to say about Jade, how she's been hid by WWE with only having one title defense in like a bajillion days.
Oh, sorry.
People
Are we
have
talking
seen
about
that.
Jade? I'm sorry, I was falling asleep. Sorry. I'm sorry. She just not excite me, and I don't get excited from her. She just doesn't do anything for me.
Lines have been drawn with Jade and Rhea. So what do you think about this, man? Like, this is definitely a hot
Okay.
topic. Yeah,
Well, I
let's
will
break
say
this
this.
down. This has been so crazy.
When it comes to Jade and Rhea, the social media exchange on X, I feel like some of them, there may be some truth to it, but I think they're using the IWC in this. I think they're like, look at all the things they're saying about you. Oh, we could use this. Say this about me. Heat this up, and then let's have other people like Chelsea and them, because it just seems so much more real. And it may be real. I don't know. That's where the lines
So
get
you
blurred
think it's a
for
work?
me.
It's a work, you think?
It could be. There could be truth,
Okay.
because when you have people like Chelsea and Piper Niven chiming in who are heels, and they're saying stuff about Jade not being able to work and this, that, and the other. It's like, well, damn, where's that coming from? Like, but are they
Right.
just using the IWC's thoughts and feelings and using this as a storyline and blurring the lines by having heels chime in against other heels and siding with Rhea? It's kind of interesting how they're doing that. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see. It definitely, the storyline definitely needed something, because I don't know. Yes, Jade versus Rhea awesome match in terms of like visuals, but I really just have to take the belt.
We know how you feel. We know how you feel about Jade.
Yeah, I just think they pushed her too soon. She should have never started in WWE. She should have cut her teeth in NXT and got more seasoning. I don't know why they bring these people up and without any kind of like real experience. Yeah, AEW. They did this. They hit her too. She had like 5-minute matches all the time at AEW. She didn't learn anything in there. I'm sorry, she just did it. So yeah, they should have. She should have cut her teeth for a year in NXT and then came up. I think she would have been a lot better off. And you'll see the difference when like certain girls come up this year and they were in there for a year or two, and how much better are. Roxanne Perez is a great example. She was huge in Ring of Honor, great in the Indies. They took their time with her and kept her there for a good year and a half before they brought her up. And look how much better she is in WWE now. She's so much better. Not that I can't even compare Roxanne to Jade in the ring, because they're different styles, but Roxanne's just got it. I think Jade's just all flash and no what do you want to call it? All
No
flash
substance.
and
All flash, no substance.
substance. Yeah, and she may learn that eventually, but I'm sorry, just doesn't do anything for me.
You're entitled to your opinion right now.
It'd be a nice build. It'd be a great build, because that's what WWE does. They build up these matches. This is the right opponent for her. Nobody else would have made sense except for Charlotte, but they decided not to go that route, which is fine.
Oh, I'm very happy that they did not go that route. I want to just say, I feel I have no problem with Jade Cargill. I think she's been a good powerhouse. I think when you have power wrestlers are interesting because they are impactful with power moves, and they don't really have to be technical because they have presence, and that physique and the physical imposement is what makes them what makes them special. And it's always going to be polarizing, right? Brock Lesnar, we have people who we interact with the wrestling who don't think Brock Lesnar, I disagree in many ways, but I can see the argument where Brock Lesnar, he's a powerhouse, and maybe he's not the, he just does all these powerhouse moves, and maybe isn't the greatest technical wrestler. Some people think that way. I don't, but I've heard that before. Obviously, you've heard that about Goldberg. Goldberg was one of the most over people of all time at one point. Hold up, I got you, but I'm saying he still resonated with the crowd. He still was very over, and he was very imposing. People say he sucks, but everyone likes to take his spear that he made famous along with Rhino, right? But it was Goldberg that really put it up to another level. Let's just give props there. I'm just saying that like Jade Cargill, she doesn't have to be this like savant in the ring. She's just a imposing figure who does the damn thing. And I think that along with the presentation of her entrance and her look, and that she's done a damn good job. I do wish that she defended the title a little more, but other people haven't either. And I guess that just doesn't bother me as much. And I'm excited for Jay versus Rhea. I like Rhea Ripley too. I hope that the match is nice and stiff in terms of the hits and all that stuff and the impact in the ring. And I hope that they stiff each other up, and I hope they get some anger out, against each other, and I hope it's a fun match. With that
Yeah.
said, you mentioned we just talked about the ladies, these two main eventers in the women's division in SmackDown with Jade and Rhea. Let's go to NXT Vengeance Day. Uh,
Okay.
let's get into it, Brandon. I know you love NXT,
All right.
and it was a
I
big
do.
PLE over the weekend. So
Yeah, Vengeance Day was awesome. Lola Vice and Kalani Jordan in Underground was very entertaining. It was a fun match to watch. Lola Vice defeated her, and I wasn't sure, but I think Lola needed that win more than Kalani just because she's been kind of like on a losing streak a little bit here and there, but she needed it more than Kalani, I think. And she's never lost in the Underground, and she's a former MMA fighter, so it wouldn't have made sense for Kalani to beat her, honestly. It doesn't. Now, I thought it was interesting leading up to the match in a couple of weeks that Kalani was training with Shayna Baszler, and Shayna Baszler was training her to get ready for the Underground. I thought that was cool. It gave
yeah,
it gave Kalani it gave Kalani more of a realistic chance of beating Lola that way. It's all right. The badass Shayna Baszler's training her, and she's like, "Be careful! I lost to Lola. She's beating me. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. So I'm going to train you." I thought that was cool. Where they go from here, I'm not sure. I think they go their separate ways now. Lola's probably ready to come up soon, and so is Kalani. Honestly, that women's division is so stacked, man.
stacked,
Wicked
bro.
stacked. Speaking of women's division and amazing wins, Tatum Paxley finally beat Izzy Dane, and I thought that match was awesome. Great storytelling. Tatum Paxley has been in NXT for a while now, and she's gained a following, and she's getting a stronger following. And I think she did win the NXT title for a cup of coffee, but she still won it, and you have it taken away
Right.
from her like a week later. That told a better story. She finally overcame the Coling and beat Izzy Dane. So props to Tatum. I hope she has a big match at Stand to Deliver. I think they're just getting started with her character. Then there was Blake Monroe and Jada Parker that opened the show. That feud's going to go on for a while, I think. I
That
mean,
match was crazy.
yeah. I kind of missed some of that. Can you talk about any of it, or do you remember any of it? Because I was watching something
Hard,
else until I forgot.
yeah,
NXT.
hard hitting, high spots. Blake Monroe with the W, and it was just wild. It was
Yeah, it makes sense
definitely
for Blake
watch
to
it.
get the win there. Blake was really on a losing streak since losing to Thea, so I think she needed to get something back to heat that feud back up. Another interesting thing too that I want to touch about on the women, and this has nothing to do with wrestling, any matches, but Thea Hale recently wrote on social media about being bullied online, and can
Yeah,
we stop doing this shit? Seriously, I don't know what all the hate is for her. The girl works her ass off, is just trying to make a living. She loves wrestling. Just because things aren't going your favorite wrestler's way and you're mad that she's taking the spotlight from them or whatever, don't do that. Seriously. Thea is awesome. I love her character. And I see bright things for her in the future. She's only 22 years old. And for her to have to put out a statement like that on social media was quite telling. I feel like we go through this like every year with one of the female wrestlers, it seems, more than anybody. They're getting bullied by the IWC. And I know she shouldn't care what people think, but it's tough when she keeps on seeing things online about her constantly. It's not right.
social
Last
media
year it
is
was about
different, man.
Charlotte and how she looked and all this stuff. It's like, don't attack the person's appearance or their background. Like when Tiffy came out about her marriage is failing, that's nothing to do with Charlotte Flair. That has all to do with Ashley the person, and you don't go down that route. So again, people need to stop bullying people online. It leads to bad things. I think a wrestler in Japan, I think, committed suicide a couple years ago because the online bullying was so bad. So yeah, stop that. So it sucks that Thea had to say something, but I had to say something. It was bothering me when we were talking about the women because the women are great in NXT. They have such a bright future, and to knock someone down like that is just not cool.
Well said, Brandau. Well said. It's definitely the wrestlers today, I will say, just like other athletes in different sports, dealing with social media in that aspect, it's definitely understated the mental load and how easy it is to succumb or be engulfed by constant criticism and constant comments and constant judgment all the time through social media. I definitely, I know there's varying opinions on all that because these people do have a big platform and you can argue it comes with the territory. But as you said, I agree. I think there's a line that has to be drawn at times too. And well said, everything, man. Full support.
Thanks.
Well said.
Yes, I just don't feel strongly about that. It's just not cool. I mean, these people are playing characters. Don't attack them like this. It's not cool. Like, I don't care how much you hate them. They don't deserve that kind of hate at all. I don't like people like John Cena, but I would never attack him as a man. Like, there's no reason to do that.
Of course not. Didn't The Rock's daughter get death threats because of the Cody thing or something? Yeah. Like, yes, I'm just saying, since we're back on the IWC again, like, look, y'all, like, wise up. Damn.
Yeah, exactly.
Give us true wrestling fans a bad name sometimes.
Yeah, for right. One last thing to cheer things up a little bit on the NXT front. Hendry beat Ricky Saints. Great match, fun match. Ethan Page kind of screwed him over at the end. It kind of seemed like he wanted the belt, he wanted to give it to him, or something happened and he distracted. I think that's going to go somewhere. They'll probably have like a triple threat at Stand Up Deliver, if I had to guess. And depending on what happens tonight on NXT, maybe that storyline gets forwarded a little bit. But yeah, I'm glad Joe Hendry won. Good for Joe. Real quick, TNA. Let's talk some TNA real quick.
Let's do it.
There's not really much to talk about except for Steve Maclin has been reinstated, and now he's going to face Santana for the title. So I don't know what the point of the Feast or Fired match was a couple weeks ago or a month and a half ago. Because he got the briefcase, got fired. Just never had that match. It's a stupid idea anyway. Oh, I'm fighting for a briefcase, but one could get fired. Why would you want to be in that match if you get fired? It's stupid. It makes no sense. And then he gets reinstated anyway because he's attacked Santana a number of times. So yeah, that's all I got to say about TNA for now. I didn't catch much.
It's a big match. It's a big match.
And match.
Yeah. And as you talked about a couple episodes last episode, TNA being on a bigger platform means everything. So hopefully, I'm sure that those two are they're gonna kill it, and with more eyes on the product and everything like that. That's definitely excited to see where that goes.
Yes. And also I want to talk one thing about AEW that caught my eye this weekend. Speaking of NXT throwback, Ciampa and his heel turn. I didn't see it coming. I mean, I should have seen it coming because it was very Johnny Gargano like when he turned on him. If anybody didn't see it, what happened was FTR attacked Ciampa, was beating him down. Jay Briscoe comes out, saves him, and was it Jay? Wait, Jay. I always get them mixed up. It's Jay, right? Jay Briscoe or Mark Briscoe? It's Mark Briscoe. Jay's the one who died. Sorry, Jay. I didn't get confused there. But Mark Briscoe saves him, and everything's cool. They're walking up the ramp together. All of a sudden, Ciampa just attacks Mark Briscoe for some reason. And you're like, what the hell? Hits him with the knee and everything. It reminded me of when him and Johnny lost the match at one of the takeovers, and he was hugging him, and it's okay. And then he absolutely beat the living shit out of it. It's the same thing. I mean, no, Ciampa's such a great heel, so it makes sense to turn him heel. So I guess we're going to get a Briscoe and Ciampa feud, and I'm all for it.
I'm for it too, man. Briscoe
that's my takeaway from AEW this week.
Yeah. Briscoe's something else, man. He's been killing it for years, and Ciampa's that dude as well, and it's definitely going to be something to watch to see how that unfolds. Since we're on AEW, did you hear what your favorite journalist in the industry said about AEW? How Dave Meltzer said that AEW is gaining ground on WWE. What do you think about that? Think there's some truth to that? The WWE's been struggling with ticket sales, and they've been turning people off with the storylines and the criticism on Triple H now finally a little bit. And meanwhile AEW selling out, and they started AEW International, and they're doing this, they're doing the WWE network format and pleasing wrestling fans with different tiers, and it's cheaper. It's a nice alternative. Do you think that there's some truth to that, where AEW perhaps it's never going to fully gain ground in WWE? It's too big. But what AEW can do
No.
is fully cement itself as the strongest alternative there is and flourish in that route. So what do you think about all that?
Okay.
You could say it already has, man. AEW is pretty big, man.
As I said, I don't care about for the melts. He has a point in terms of, yes, they're gaining ground, but gaining ground, yes, but coming close to them, no. And I think he even addressed that and said, yeah, they're gaining ground, but they're not nowhere close to them. Like, WWE's up here, AEW's down here still. To gain ground up here and catch up to them, they need, I don't know what they need, but
I know what they need. I know. Oh, wait, let's park on that. I know what they need. I want to say something right here. And it's just to go to another thing, not to go on a separate rant here. To all you people who say John Cena's the GOAT, you want the answer if he's the GOAT or not. This is what would make people who say he's not the GOAT maybe have to rethink things. If John Cena went to AEW and AEW gained ground in WWE and overtook WWE in many ways, then I think something might need to be said in regards to that for the detractors. That actually might make people kind of be like, uh-oh, a little bit. That it would have to take a shift, something insane, probably like that, like to harken back to Hulk Hogan back in the day. I know there's a polarizing views on that, but we're talking about wrestling history here. You see the belt behind me. That movement in WCW really changed a lot of things, and it would take a gargantuan shift, a absolute bona fide, presence in the industry of name value that moves needles in whatever way to probably make that happen. And that's probably one of the biggest things that would actually need to happen in order for AEW to have a chance with that. That's all I got, though. That's what it would take. It would take like The Rock, Austin, or John Cena or something like that. It's never going to happen. I'm just saying. That's what it would take.
Yeah, unless WWE really was to majorly mess up in the next couple of years, and really turn their fans. Well, I don't see how that's happening. It's not happening.
Rising prices. Yeah. I'm just saying. Look, rising prices.
I get it, but they're never going to get to that level where WWE is. It's like, it's holy shit. I'm sorry. Something just came up on my feed that is insane. It has nothing to do with
what came up? Oh, okay. All right. Never mind.
Amaya just dropped 83 points in a game. Stop it. I swear to God, I just saw it pop up on my feed.
Wait, what?
He just broke Kobe's record. Is that second highest scoring record of all time?
Wait, he broke Kobe's record? What? Bam Adebayo broke Kobe's record? Whoa. What? All right. Well, that's breaking news on Crew Talk right now. That's crazy. In NBA land and basketball land, that's crazy. Definitely gonna watch that. Holy shit.
That's crazy.
But with that said, let's get back to it. You never know with this, y'all. The never-ending world of sports and sports entertainment and pro wrestling. It's crazy out here. So with that said, a lot of stuff happening in the industry, a lot of feuds taking place, a lot of turns happening, we're in the road to WrestleMania. The road to WrestleMania for the entire industry. Everyone's stepping up their game. WrestleMania is what, Brandau, like 5 weeks away. We shall see what takes place. Triple H, you got 5 weeks to deliver. And I hope I'm actually think the card is shaping up to be pretty solid. Yeah. And I'm excited to see the other promotions continue to step up their game, and excited for all of it. So we'll be there to follow it all. We'll be there to bring all the news and the takes and the analysis to all of y'all watching and listening. And thank you all for tuning in. JustJayBe, aka Oldhead, signing off. Chris Brandau signing off. Brandau, I just spoke for you, but feel free to
one last thing. AEW Revolution is this weekend, March 15th, I believe, or 16th. I forget what day it is. It's gonna be a hell of a card. It's always their prelude to like their answer to WrestleMania, I think, at that point. So
it'd
be interesting to see what happens. So watch Revolution this weekend. We'll talk about it next time.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have a lot to talk about on our next show. Thanks all for tuning in.